Today I want to discuss the most important pragya or prajna lens, which is to do with Buddhism, but at the same time it is applicable for the entirety of the human race. The pragya lens will allow you to successfully navigate the Great Tribulation. When I'm studying Buddhism, I'm studying Hebrewism, I'm studying the Buddhist scriptures, I'm studying the Hebrew scriptures, I'm listening to lots and lots of people online, I'm reading, and I have my own spiritual mission, I have my own spiritual work that I need to do, my own awakening, my own realization, and also all the great disclosure works that is online that has to do with this very specific earth. Also navigating through the relative truth, which is the truth of this world, and understanding our dynamic with satanic reality, which we are part of, which we are one with. Our relationship with Satanism is throughout our lives. We have been unconsciously in contact with all the satanic ideas, because the ruler of this world, the prince of this world, is Satan, Satan, the original and the first angel created by our Father in heaven, that fell because of his own individual choice to study and understand darkness. So Lucifer, you will know him, you can know him as Lucifer, you can know him as Helel ben Sachar in Hebrew, son of dawn. Again, you can also know him as Satan in the Hebrew scriptures, and Satan in other cultures, and Shaitan. So these are different variations of names of him depending on what language you speak. So because of his fall and his choice, conscious choice, intelligent based choice to polarize into darkness or to take into darkness, we have this reality to deal with, basically. So because of Satan, the first angel that fell, he is a very powerful angel because our Father in heaven taught him everything. So he knows all the knowledge. So if you look at all the evolutionary creations that we have, like the sciences, we have the computer, we have phone, we have the internet, we have 5G towers, 3G, 4G, we have different types of mobile phones, we have iPads, we have these drawing pencils we can use in our iPads, we have aeroplanes, we have cars, we have electric cars now. So all these different things, that anything this modern world is made up of is Satan's creation. It's basically his creation. And everything, all the modern stuff that we interact with, it's his creation. We are part of Satanism in that way. So it's not like we eat babies and we rape people. It's not that. Satanism, because this world, the prince of the world, the ruler of the world is Satan, and he has ruled this world since the beginning of its creation. So you need this base foundation before you can perceive anything in this reality. It doesn't matter what religion you come from, especially Buddhism, because Buddhism is a very intelligent, it's a very intelligent teaching. It's very, it will basically teach you everything about life, everything about everything. Like, your modern gurus, they tell you, do these 5 practices to become a millionaire. Buddhism will just teach you to become Buddha. Buddhism will teach you to become enlightened, not just to be successful, or how to buy a car, or how to buy a house, or how to pay off your mortgage quickly. Not that kind of guru reality that we are in, but Buddhism will give you enlightenment. So it's a very, like a high level of learning. It's not just stories and it's not just wars, but it is how to achieve enlightenment in the human body. So it's a very high level of teaching. So even like the Buddhists that have that ability to attain total Buddhahood, even they have to understand the tribulation ground. They have to understand what Christ is doing and they have to understand the tribulation through Jesus Christ, the Son of God, Yeshua. They have to understand it through that lens, because Christ came in the Mahayana vehicle and he sacrificed himself for the sins of the entirety of humanity. That includes Buddhists. And he achieved his Buddhahood, which is his resurrection. And he went back up to heaven. So he did not circle in the samsaric death and life wheel. He attained liberation and he went to heaven. So he wasn't stuck here. He wasn't stuck in the samsaric life and death reality. So we have to understand a few things before we get to the Pragya lens or the Prajna lens, which is, Prajna is like the highest level of wisdom that one can have within Buddhism, and it is called the Prajna lens or the emptiness. So what the Prajna lens allows us to do as human beings across the whole world is that it allows us to look at our situation as humanity, and not like, oh, I am a Hebrew Jew, or I am this very advanced Buddhist scholar or a Buddhist monk, or I am like this crazy scientist person, or I am like this very intelligent tech guy. It's not coming from those individualized spaces, but when you understand when you understand the tribulation through the Pragya lens, through the Prajna Paramita lens, it will be easier for you to grasp like what is going on during the tribulation. You have to know everything. You cannot isolate yourself into a culture, into a language, into a religion, or into a system. You cannot isolate yourself into that. So you need the Pragya lens. So the Pragya lens allows you. So how the Pragya is taught in Buddhism, it is like, it will teach you how to see one thing with a gazillion lenses. So say if you have been looking at Jesus Christ through the Western Christianity lens, that is not enough. If you are looking at Jesus Christ through just the Hebrew lens, that is not enough. During the tribulation, it's not enough. If you're looking at technology only through the tech lens and science lens and evolution lens, it's not enough, because the whole idea of technology, the whole idea of the new financial system, technology, which is the mark of the beast, the whole idea of that is the second coming of Jesus. So the second coming of Jesus happens as a result of the new financial system. So Jesus will come after the new financial system, and mark of the beast, which is the new financial system, is a revelation given by the Son of God, Yeshua, Jesus Christ, in the book of Revelation, which is the last book in the Bible. You can directly go into the book of Revelation and read the book of Revelation. You can just type book of Revelation online and it will just come up and you can just read it. So you have to, the whole premise of technology, you have to connect it. You have to be like, technology has to do with Christ, because Christ gave revelation of the new financial system in the book of Revelation. And when the new financial system is employed, the rest of the human population should know that the second coming of Christ is around the corner. It is the end times. It is the 6,000-year-old cycle is completing. We are in the end times. So these things you have to know, and you will know these things if you know the scriptures, because the scriptures is basically your map. And especially the Hebrew scriptures is the map of the tribulation. Hebrew scriptures, it's like you have a map of the tribulation battleground, and you read the scriptures and you're like, this is what's happening. The new financial system is here. That means we are in the tribulation ground. We are in the tribulation field, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to go down, and people will just like, the heavens will open, and just our reality will be totally different, and everyone will be awakened from their sleep state. And also the dead people that have passed away, that have died, they will be woken up even to get their judgment. So not just humanity will wake up from their deep sleep, but even the dead people that are buried in the ground, even there they will wake up and start to receive their judgment. So it's for everyone. So it's for the dead, it's for the alive people, and it's for every human being on the whole earth. So it is not specific to the Hebrews, it's not specific to Buddhists, and it's not specific to Christians, or it's not specific to Satanists. It's for everyone. So we have to understand everything. We have to understand technology, we have to understand Satanism, we have to understand Christianity, we have to understand Buddhism, and we have to understand the Hebrew scriptures. So all of these things we have to be able to connect, and that's your Prajna lens. The Prajna lens will allow you to see through everything. So you're not going to just view reality through Buddhism, or view reality through technology, or view reality through the Hebrew scriptures. The Pragya lens is all about having multiple lens and seeing a situation through multiple angles, and that's the only way you can be successful during the tribulation. Because recognizing Christ, like a lot of Christians know Christ, a lot of Hebrews know Christ, but a lot of Hebrews will very quickly discard Buddhism. They'll very quickly discard other systems. Hebrews will not take in anything outside of their own system, but they also have to wake up and understand and realize that just knowing Christ itself is not enough, because now we are not in a specified cultural silos or cultural individuality, but we are dealing with the entire world. And how has Father made himself known, and how has Father taught the entire world? Those knowledge we can gather, and those knowledges will be applicable to every human being. And Buddhism especially, because I believe, and in my heart I know, our Father in heaven is Buddha. He incarnated as Buddha. That's what I believe. So it's like, if you love Father, you will understand Buddhism straight away, and you will apply Buddhism, because it's like all the three vehicles, Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, all of the three vehicles in Buddhism was taught by the Buddha, and so it's all his teaching. So even if it's like the Christ, the first coming of Christ when he came through the Mahayana vehicle, and the Vajrayana vehicle, which is the work that I am doing, a lot of the disclosure people are doing. Humanity will do the Vajrayana vehicle, but humanity will do a combination of all three. And I'm doing a combination of all three, but my ground is like, say, Vajrayana ground. Because Vajrayana, the whole premise of Vajrayana, it's a very open system. It's like, they say the Vajrayana is the most advanced teaching in Buddhism, is the most advanced vehicle to attain enlightenment. And Mahayana is the second, and the Hinayana is the last one to attain enlightenment. Or I think you cannot attain enlightenment through Hinayana, but you can attain like Arhat, which is like a high level of close to Buddhahood, but not quite Buddhahood with Hinayana. But with Mahayana, you can attain full Buddhahood, and with Vajrayana, you can attain full Buddhahood. And that Buddhahood, what it is in the tribulation, is basically you rapturing and going to heaven itself. Means you have attained a significant amount of purification, so you can be in the presence of Christ, you can be in the presence of Father, or you can go to heaven, so you do not contaminate heaven if you haven't cleansed yourself. And what are we cleaning ourselves from? Is we are cleaning ourselves from lies. We are cleaning ourselves from Satanism. We are cleaning ourselves from the demonic lies, and all the lies that we have studied, all the lies that we have been a part of, all the lies that has been told to us, and we believed those lies about ourselves. So it's about purification from all of that. So to me, the satanic lies, the satanic deception, to me is black magic. So when they say black magic, what does it mean? It's like a satanic lie. When someone says, oh, you're a woman and you are a lesser gender than a man, that's a satanic concept. Father didn't create man as more than woman. Father created them equal. Like Adam and Eve, they were totally in love with each other. and they were created equal. There's no such thing as like discriminate against a woman. Like those teachings are all false. In fact, in Hebrew it says, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave his life for the church. So that's what it says. He gave his life for the church, which is the church is the feminine. So Father teaches that. He doesn't teach discrimination. Christianity doesn't teach feminine discrimination. And people don't really understand what's really happening with the gender when it comes to spirituality. Through the Prajna lens, it will allow you to see everything from a bird's eye view perspective. So you can see everything from the top. You're looking down and you can see everything. Say if there is a village in front of you, the entire earth in front of you, and you are standing and you can see the whole earth, that's basically your Pragya view. That's your Prajna Paramita view. So you have this 360-degree view from a really high angle, and you can see everything. So that's what the Pragya view is. And then if you come down to our leveled earth, we cannot see everything. We can only see up to a certain distance, and we cannot see further than that. There are houses, there are trees, there are people, there are lots of things in front of us. Even in an open landscape, we won't recognize certain things beyond a certain point. We do not have that view. But from the top, you can see lots and lots of stuff. So your Pragya view is basically when you see things from the top, so you don't miss anything, and that's basically what it is. So you have to understand everything. You have to understand different cultural perspective, people that are doing disclosure work, people that are doing work based on the tribulation. You have to listen to everyone, because even if it's like something that you've never heard of, you've only thought of Yeshua as the Son of God, or you only believe in God, you don't believe in Christ, all of those things you have to get rid of. Otherwise you are going to fail in the tribulation, and then you are going to go to hell, because you're not going to recognize Christ. You're going to say, Father, 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 Father. But Father is not going to come down here, because Christ is doing what Father is telling him to do. What all the spiritual work that Father wants to achieve on this earth, Christ is helping Father do that. So you have to, the only way to Father is through Christ, is through Yeshua. So you have to understand that. So Father's not going to come down here and save you. Christ can. So because only through Christ you can go to Father. So Christ is basically the gate. And you have to understand, you have to recognize Christ and not Father. So you have to recognize Father, but in the tribulation, Christ is going to save you, because Christ is doing all the work on this earth. Christ is doing, and that responsibility Father gave to Christ. So if you do not recognize Christ, for the hardcore Hebrews, if you do not believe in Yeshua, if you do not believe in Christ, you're going to fail, because you have to, like, we are in the third wheel. We are in basically the Vajrayana. So there are three wheels. There are three instances, three wheels. The first wheel is the Buddha, is the Hinayana. The second wheel is the Mahayana. Third wheel is the Vajrayana. Christ has already come. Christ's first coming has already taken place in the Mahayana. That's your second wheel, has already been turned. So now your third wheel is being turned with the Vajrayana, and the tribulation is going to occur. So if you haven't even believed in the Son, which is the second wheel that was already turned around 500 years ago, if that wheel was already turned with the first coming of Christ, if you haven't even got to that, how are you going to get to the current tribulation? How are you going to face that and understand that? So you will be really far behind in your learning and in your education and your progress, because you have to now understand Christ, and then you have to now understand the church that is going to rapture. So all of these things you have to be able to wrap your head around, and you'll be like, oh, Father hid this from us, and our Father didn't tell us these things. But everything is Father's work, and that's why sometimes we are here as well, to openly and transparently put everything out there for everyone, so people can't say, oh, nobody told us, we didn't know.